The zodiac signs that hold the darkest secrets, from the most open to the most mysterious. Welcome to Horoscope reads your space for raw truths, unfiltered insights, and the kind of zodiac revelations you won't find sugar-coated anywhere else. If you're ready to dive deep into the shadows and light of each sign, make sure to subscribe and tap that like button so you never miss the secrets the stars are whispering. Today, we're uncovering the zodiac signs that hold the darkest secrets, ranked from the most open to the most mysterious. This is not about stereotypes, but about peeling back the layers to reveal the truths each sign would rather keep hidden. 12. Sagittarius, honest adventurers who rarely hide anything. A Sagittarius woman's life is an open road, and she wears her truth like a badge of honor. She speaks her mind without hesitation, her words carried on the same winds that guide her adventurous spirit. Secrets feel like chains to her, a weight she refuses to carry. Her honesty is disarming, sometimes even startling, but it is rarely malicious. She thrives in transparency because she believes the truth will always set her free. To a Sagittarius, life is too short for games, hidden agendas, or emotional riddles. She is most alive when she can speak her mind openly, unburdened by the heaviness of concealed truths. But her openness doesn't mean she reveals everything. If she hides something, it's often because it's not important enough to share, or because she doesn't think it will help anyone to know. She is less a keeper of dark secrets and more a guardian of harmless omissions. Her few secrets tend to be about personal doubts she would rather conquer alone, fears that she believes might tarnish her image as the confident wanderer. These are the shadows she confronts in private, the moments when she questions her own path. Still, her transparency makes her magnetic. People are drawn to her because they trust her words, knowing they are rarely laced with manipulation. Yet, this same trait can make her a target for those who prefer the safety of half-truths. Her truthfulness can be blunt, so blunt, in fact, that it cuts deeper than she realizes. While she may not hide much, her honesty can reveal more about others than they're ready to face. If a Sagittarius ever keeps a secret from you, know that it's probably for your protection or because she's decided it's a truth you must find on your own. To know a Sagittarius is to bask in the sunlight of someone who doesn't just tell the truth, they live it. She's not the one you'd suspect of harboring dark secrets, but perhaps her greatest secret is how deeply she cares, hidden beneath the guise of carefree independence. And when she does choose to lock something away, you can bet it's a truth that could shake her own adventurous foundations, making it one of the rarest treasures she guards. 11. Aries, direct and outspoken, secrets slip through their lips. An Aries woman bursts in like a struck match. Sudden, bright, impossible to ignore. Her honesty arrives raw and immediate, a first impulse that often outruns her intention. And that very rush is where her danger hides. She speaks to be heard, not to be gentle. Her words are arrows aimed at clarity. And while they can free you from confusion, they can also pierce soft places you didn't know you had. There's a purity to her bluntness, no games, no slow burn manipulations, only an honest edge. But that purity doesn't excuse the scorch marks left when she fires off what she's thinking. Without the cushion of tact, Aries loves with a speed that terrifies and delights. One moment she proclaims you the center of her universe, the next she demands new conquest. That volatility can feel like devotion at first and abandonment before you understand what happened. Her temper is legendary because it's honest, quick to flare, quick to resolve. She won't nurse resentments for months. She roar, clean house, and then move on. But in that roar, you might lose pieces of yourself you never get back. Pride and vulnerability are tangled inside her. She will tell you exactly what's wrong and then refuse to admit the hurt she quietly carries. So, her fiercest declarations often mask the softest wounds. Aries does not scheme in shadows. She exposes her desires, her jealousies, even her cruelties in the light of day. And sometimes you hate her for that brutal transparency, because you wanted the lie that would have spared you pain. She is impulsive in love and in leaving feel like gasoline poured on a bonfire, spectacular, intoxicating, and almost always temporary if the spark of novelty dies. When an Aries betrays you, it's rarely a long-planned treachery. It's boredom. It's the call of the next horizon. It's the honest confession that she needs more than you can give, and that confession lands like a hammer. She values freedom so fiercely that she will slash at any chain she sees, even ones made of loyalty. Because to be caged by expectation is a fate worse than hurting someone you love. Yet, beneath the cavalier blaze, there is a childlike need for recognition. She wants to be admired, to be the first to be chosen, and when that mirror breaks, she lashes out not to harm you, but to protect the fragile ego that keeps her brave. Aries' honesty can be a form of cruelty when unchecked she call you out. Expose your hypocrisy, name your flaws to your face, and then disappear before you've processed the wound she's given. She forgives quickly because she lives in the present. But forgiveness from Aries can feel like erasure. When she moves on, she does so with a speed that makes reconciliation feel impossible. Loving an Aries is to live under a thunderhead, electrifying, dangerous, sometimes catastrophic hand, yet you keep returning to the storm because no calm ever made you feel as alive. To forget an Aries is to forget how high your pulse can climb. When someone demands honesty at the cost of comfort, it's to let go of a flame that burned you and warmed you in the same breath. If she left without warning, it wasn't because she planned your hurt, it was because she followed truth as she saw it. And sometimes the truest thing an Aries can do is choose flight over stagnation, even when it breaks the heart left behind. 10. Taurus, loyal and steady, but not ones to hide much. A Taurus woman arrives like a farmhouse at dusk, solid, warm, predictable, and at first her steadiness feels like a promise you can build your life on. She values comfort and safety so fiercely that she will craft an entire world to protect them. And inside that world, she keeps truths that are practical, not theatrical. She isn't one for dramatic confessions or midnight revelations. Her secrets are folded into routines, small silences between the clinking of dishes and the way she arranges the pillows on the couch. Quiet things that signal when something in her world has shifted. What she rarely hides are the facts, her preferences, her boundaries, her expectations, but what she buries deep are the tender embarrassments, the fears that she can be abandoned, the shame of needing more than she will admit, the private ledger of slights she counts in the dark. Taurus loves with a loyalty that anchors ships. When she gives you a place at her table, she stakes her comfort, her daily rituals, even her pride on you, but that same investment becomes a secret pressure that tests love. She expects repayment in devotion, not drama. Her stubbornness is not merely habit. It's a slow-burning strategy, a refusal to bend that masks a relentless fear of being unmoored. And when pushed beyond endurance, she does not storm out, she withdraws into a quiet, impenetrable cold that can last far longer than any scream. Passive aggression is her silent art. Rather than battle with words, she punishes with absence, with the slow erosion of warmth. The withheld affection that accumulates until you finally notice you're living beside a stranger who remembers everything you forgot. Taurus can be possessive in ways that feel sensible to her, protecting what she's built, but possessiveness can curdle into ownership. And suddenly love becomes inventory. Who touched what, who called when, which promises were kept and which were spent. Like small coins, she hoards not only possessions but memory. Every slight, every betrayal is cataloged and stored, and though she may forgive on the surface, the true ledger remains private. A list that will decide whether she returns or quietly walks away. Material security comforts her, and sometimes her secret is the truth of that dependence. She measures love and stability in who shows up with rent paid and groceries on the counter. And if romance threatens the balance, she will choose the steady life over passionate chaos without a second. There is a stubborn secrecy to her illusions. She may appear composed, but inside she rehearses resentments, imagines better outcomes, and plots small retaliations that look like practicality. A decision to leave, a silent refusal to help next time, a careful realignment of her life's priorities. Taurus can be slow to speak, not because she trusts easily, but because she prefers certainty. When she finally speaks the truth, it's measured and heavy, and it often comes not as a plea but as a verdict that reshapes the shared life in ways you didn't see coming. Her sensuality is a language of possession. Touch becomes a map of belonging. Comfort, a tether, and when she feels that tether fraying, she may attempt to secure it through control, dressed as affection, insisting on routines and rituals that keep you predictable and near. Pride sits deep in her bones. She will swallow humiliation to preserve dignity, then nurse a private fury that hardens into principle. And that fury, more than any dramatic betrayal, will be the secret force that moves her away when patience finally runs out. She is capable of quiet cruelty, not with knives or loud confessions, but with the slow removal of warmth, the recalibration of intimacy into logistics. The way she can make you feel like an unnecessary guest in the life you thought you built together. Yet, beneath all this is a battered tenderness. She hides her fears for fear they will be used. She keeps secrets not from malice but from shame, from a wish to remain the steady rock even when her interior is cracking. To forget. A Taurus is to forget someone who anchored you with practical devotion and then left a vacancy so ordinary, almost missed it. The cupboard's full, the bed made. The silence louder than an ending and only later do you realize the steadiness was a scaffold. And when it fell, your world shifted on its axis. 9. Gemini, the chaos you can't stop thinking about, the voice that both soothes and stabs. A Gemini woman arrives like a whirlwind of conversation. Brilliant, restless, and impossibly alive. Her mind sparks everywhere at once, and loving her feels like trying to hold lightning in your hands. She talks to pull you close and then talks to push you away. Words are her currency, her weapon, and her refuge. And sometimes you'll find that the same line that made you laugh becomes the one that cuts you deepest. Gemini's charm is hypnotic. She knows how to laugh at the exact moment to dissolve your defenses, how to ask the perfect question that makes you feel seen, and so you give her pieces of yourself as if trading secrets with a mirror. But mirrors lie. For every intimate confession she offers, there may be an unread chapter of her life folded away. She reveals in fragments, leaving you to stitch together a person who only ever shows her most entertaining angles. Her duality is intoxicating and infuriating. One night she promises constancy with electric sincerity. The next morning she treats the vow like a joke she's already outgrown. And you're left wondering which version of her loved you at all. Gemini masks fear with banter. When vulnerability approaches, she substitutes wit. A deflection that makes you laugh and then hollow in the quiet hours when you crave the warmth. She refused to stay in. She can be the best friend you ever had, attentive, curious, endlessly amusing, but she can also become the most alien when her attention slips, replaced by new fascinations that feel like betrayal to anyone still standing. Deceit for Gemini isn't always malicious. It's often a survival tactic. Small untruths, white lies, selective memories told to keep the dance going, and to avoid the heavy silence she fears more than your disappointment. When she withdraws, it's rarely explained. She disappears into a maze of messages, unread and plans uncapped, leaving you tracking ghosts in the places where her laughter used to live. Her restlessness is a kind of cruelty. She collects lovers like rare stamps, fascinated by variety, and sometimes treats relationships as temporary exhibitions rather than lifelong galleries where care is cultivated slowly. Yet she's not heartless. She loves with thrilling intensity in bursts. And those bursts are undeniable, brilliant nights. Confessions at 3 a.m., 1,000 tiny shared jokes that etch themselves into your days. The problem is the return rate. Each time she leaves for novelty, you find yourself scouring old conversations for clues, replaying voice notes like prayers, hoping to resurrect the version of her that once promised to stay. Gemini's truth is elastic. She'll tell you what serves the moment, and when the moment shifts, so does her story. This mutability can make you doubt your memory, doubt your judgment, and eventually doubt your heart. Loving her is exhilarating and exhausting. She teaches you to live in possibilities, to savor wit and curiosity. But she also teaches you to accept impermanence as the price of her company. To forget a Gemini is to accept the bewildering fact that someone could be your closest companion, and your greatest mystery at once, that you could be both adored and misread by the same person. 8. Libra, the diplomat who smiles while hiding the storm. A Libra woman enters your life like the first day of spring, warm, inviting, effortless, inner charm, and before you realize it, you've built your days around the balance she seems to irradiate. Her beauty isn't just physical. It's in the way she listens with her whole face, makes you feel like your words matter, and diffuses tension with a well-placed laugh or a gentle change of subject. But her grace is a veil, and behind it lives a mind that calculates each interaction, each word, each glance, deciding which truths can be revealed and which must be buried to preserve the harmony she craves. Libra fears ugliness of conflict, of rejection, of the raw chaos emotions can bring. So she edits her honesty like a poet edits a verse, removing sharp edges until the meaning is beautiful but no longer complete. She is a collector of half-truths, not to deceive in malice but to keep the peace. Yet over time, these omissions can become an invisible wall between you, a gap filled with unsaid grievances and unshared doubts. Her greatest weapon is diplomacy. But diplomacy can become manipulation when she chooses the version of events that serves her image, her comfort, or her advantage. You may never see her rage in its rawest form. She vents in subtle ways. An elegant withdrawal, a delayed text, an artful compliment that cuts if you listen closely enough. Libra can seem endlessly accommodating, yet her kindness is often transactional. When she feels underappreciated, she'll keep a private score until the balance tips, and then she'll vanish without the fight you thought you'd have. Indecision is her curse and her shield. She can delay truth-telling under the guise of weighing both sides, when in reality she fears the consequences of choosing one hard reality over another. Her secrets are often emotional: who she truly loves, what she truly wants, what compromises she's already decided to make without telling you, because revealing them would force the very conflict she's trying to avoid. Loving her can feel like living inside a well-decorated room with one locked door you're never allowed to open. Everything is pleasant until you start wondering what's behind it. She is skilled at making others feel seen while keeping herself unseen. And that imbalance can leave you feeling strangely alone in a relationship that looks perfect from the outside. Libra's departures are rarely messy. Instead, they're quiet, well-timed exits wrapped in polite explanations. Yet the real reasons are buried, perhaps even from herself, because admitting them would tarnish her carefully curated image. When she finally does reveal the truth, it's often in hindsight, when there's no risk, no consequence. Her honesty comes safely, like a letter sent after the war. The danger in loving her is mistaking her charm for openness. She may give you endless smiles and warmth, while never letting you close enough to touch her most guarded truths. To forget a Libra is to remember how peace can feel like love, until you realize it was a truce you never agreed to. 7. Capricorn, the keeper of plans and of truths you may never earn. A Capricorn woman moves through life like a mountain, solid, unshaken, and built from layers of effort you can't see from the outside. She is not careless with her presence, and she's even less careless with her words. Her reputation is everything, not in a shallow sense, but because she's worked too hard to risk her position, her image, or her ambitions on a moment of emotional recklessness. When you ask about her past, she will choose her words like a chess master chooses moves, every sentence placed for strategy, not sentiment. Capricorns don't lie easily, but they withhold easily. She'll decide what you need to know, and she'll convince herself she's doing it for your own good or for the greater good of the relationship. Her secrets are rarely frivolous. They are often heavy, tied to family, finances, failures, or fears. These are things she hides because vulnerability feels like weakness in a world that has never rewarded her softness. She stores every experience like a ledger entry, some debts forgiven, others quietly noted for the day they must be addressed. She might never speak of them aloud, but they shape every interaction you have with her. You might mistake her composure for coldness, but the truth is she cares too much about the outcome to risk uncontrolled emotion. Her control is her armor, and that armor is welded with silence. Ask her how she feels, and she'll tell you in actions rather than words. Cooking you dinner after a fight, helping you solve a problem, making sure the bills are paid, but she may never fully put her heart's raw truth into the air. If you press her too hard for vulnerability, she'll retreat higher into her fortress, where her pride and her fear keep each other company. Capricorn's secrecy isn't about self-preservation. In her mind, the less she exposes, the less she can lose. But this guardedness can wear on you. You may feel like you're in love with someone who trusts you with her body, her time, her partnership, but not with the deepest corners of her mind. When she finally opens up, it's a rare and sacred event, often triggered by crisis or unshakable trust. And if you mishandle that moment, you might never get another. Her ambition can sometimes make her appear detached from emotional priorities. But deep down, she believes that security, financial, emotional, physical, is the truest form of love she can offer. The real mystery of Capricorn is not what she hides, but what she sacrifices in order to keep her secrets safe. To love her is to learn patience, to understand that her truth is not freely given, it's earned, piece by piece, over years. And even then, you may never have it all. To forget her is to remember the weight of someone who gave you stability but not the full map to her heart. 6. Leo, the dazzling sun that blinds you from what's in the shadows. A Leo woman steps into any room like it belongs to her, not out of arrogance, but because she carries herself with a natural confidence that demands notice. She thrives on light, admiration, and recognition, and while much of what you see is genuine, it's also carefully curated to keep her image intact. Her secrets are often hidden in plain sight, masked by her charisma and her ability to keep conversations focused on you, the moment, or the spectacle she's creating. Leo doesn't want you to see her insecurities, not because they don't exist, but because they would clash with the story she tells the world about herself. She is proud, and that pride is both her crown and her cadget, pushes her to be the best version of herself, but also keeps her from admitting when she's vulnerable, wrong, or struggling. When a Leo hides something, it's often tied to self-doubt, past failures, or moments where she didn't live up to her own high standards. She will share many truths, but they are often the ones that make her shine brighter, not the ones that reveal the cracks in her armor. She has mastered the art of redirecting. Ask the wrong question, and she'll answer with a story that dazzles you so much you forget you never got a real answer. Her love is fierce and expressive, but she will protect her dignity above all else, even if that means keeping parts of her heart locked away. To the world, she's the life of the party, the radiant queen, but behind closed doors. She may be nursing wounds she refuses to show anyone. Her secrecy isn't always about manipulation. Often it's about maintaining control over how others perceive her. She fears pity more than criticism, so she will smile through the storm, laugh through the doubt, and keep you guessing about what truly lies beneath. When she finally trusts you enough to reveal her fears, it is not a casual act, it's a rare offering of her raw self. And if betrayed, she will retreat behind her regal mask forever. The danger in loving her is believing you know her fully when you've only been shown the parts she's proud of. To her, vulnerability must be earned, not assumed, and she will test your loyalty in ways you might not even notice. To forget, Leo is to remember warmth and brilliance, but also the quiet ache of realizing the light you loved came with shadows you never touched. 5. Virgo, the quiet archivist of truths they never speak aloud. A Virgo woman notices everything, every shift in tone, every flicker of expression, every inconsistency in your words. She collects details like a librarian of the human soul, storing them neatly in the shelves of her mind. But here's the thing, she doesn't always share what she sees. Her silence isn't ignorance, it's calculation. Virgo believes that timing is everything, and some truths are best left unsaid until they will have the most impact, or until they're absolutely necessary. She keeps her inner world organized, but locked, preferring to process her thoughts privately rather than spill them recklessly. When she hides something, it's rarely malicious. Instead, it's about control, precision, and protecting both herself and others from chaos. Her secrets are often made of half-formed judgments, observations, or fears she hasn't decided how to express yet. She may withhold her deeper emotions because she struggles to articulate them in a way that feels perfect, and imperfection makes her uneasy. Sometimes, her quiet restraint can feel like distance, as if you're being kept outside a carefully maintained garden, whose gate only she holds the key to. Virgo will often mask her uncertainty with helpfulness, offering advice, fixing problems, organizing your life while quietly battling her own inner storms. She fears being misunderstood, so she measures her words like gold, polishing them until they feel safe enough to release. But by the time she's ready to speak, the moment might have passed, and her truth remains another letter in the file cabinet of her mind. Her secrecy can also be a shield against vulnerability. Admitting her flaws feels like exposing cracks in the structure she's worked so hard to maintain, and yet, if you earn her trust over time, you may find she reveals her heart in small, precise pieces, never all at once, but enough to let you glimpse the depth of her loyalty. To love a Virgo is to learn patience, to accept that not all truths will come in the form of grand confessions. Some are hidden in the way she remembers your favorite coffee order or notices the sadness you tried to hide. She may never tell you everything, but what she does tell you will be honest, thoughtful, and unforgettable. To forget her is to remember the quiet intensity of someone who knew more than she said, and said more through her actions than her words. 4. Aquarius, the enigma wrapped in a riddle, the guardian of a secret world few ever glimpse. Aquarius is the Zodiac's quintessential rebel, a mind that thrives on ideas, innovation, and the unconventional. Yet beneath their exterior of detachment lies a labyrinth of complexities they guard fiercely. They wear their mysteries like armor, an enigmatic smile, a knowing glance, a silence that speaks louder than words. What they choose to reveal is often a curated version of themselves, carefully edited to protect the inner sanctum of their true thoughts and feelings. Their secrets aren't petty or trivial. They are profound puzzles, emotional paradoxes, and radical ideals that may never fully surface. Unlike signs who hide to avoid conflict or protect fragile hearts, Aquarius conceals because their inner truth is a sacred experiment, too radical, too vulnerable, or simply too vast to share casually. They often live several steps ahead in their minds, plotting revolutions in thought and action that only they can truly comprehend. This intellectual distance can make them seem aloof or cold. But it is actually a self-imposed exile designed to keep their most precious ideas from being diluted or misunderstood. Aquarians don't like feeling trapped, not just physically but emotionally, and so they compartmentalize, locking away feelings that might tether them too tightly. Their emotional truths are often coded in metaphor or hidden behind dry humor and abstract conversations, making it difficult for others to decipher what's truly going on beneath the surface. When an Aquarius does share a secret, it's rarely about themselves directly. It's often a theory, a philosophy, or an observation about the world that reveals their inner workings by proxy. That their honesty is fierce but selective. They speak openly about ideas but are masters at masking vulnerabilities. This creates an aura of mystery that can be intoxicating and frustrating in equal measure, drawing people in while keeping them at arm's length. The Aquarian secret keeper trusts few, and those they do trust must respect their need for freedom and space above all else. Betray that trust, and the walls close faster than you can blink. Aquarius may forgive but rarely forgets, quietly retreating to rebuild their inner fortress. Loving an Aquarius means embracing ambiguity and paradox, celebrating the mind's brilliance while patiently waiting for the rare moments of emotional clarity. They are the unsung poets of the Zodiac, expressing their truths in ways that only the most attuned can understand, leaving behind a trail of questions more than answers. 3. Cancer, the emotional fortress, guarding secrets behind walls built of tenderness and pain. Cancer is the ultimate protector, a soul woven from deep emotional currents that often remain hidden beneath a soft, nurturing exterior. To truly understand Cancer's secrets, you must first recognize that they are not shared lightly. These are not casual confidences, but the treasures of a heart that has weathered storms. Their secrets live in the shadows of their kindness, locked away behind layers of vulnerability they dare not expose to just anyone. Cancer's emotional landscape is vast, and turbulent waves of love, fear, longing, and sorrow crash silently within. These hidden depths are where they keep the memories of wounds both given and received, the fears of abandonment, and the hopes for a home that feels truly safe. Cancer's loyalty is fierce but selective. When they entrust you with a secret, it is a sacred bondan invitation to step inside their inner sanctum where joy and pain intertwine. Yet, these moments of openness are rare and precious, often guarded by cautious walls that took years to build. This science protective nature means they often hide truths to shield loved ones from pain, taking on burdens in silence rather than risking vulnerability. They bear emotional weight quietly, sometimes so deeply that even they struggle to fully understand the darkness they carry. Cancer's secrets are not just personal, they are ancestral, passed down like invisible heirlooms of family stories, fears, and traditions that shape their identity. They are the keepers of emotional legacies, holding histories in their hearts that they may never voice aloud. The fear of betrayal cuts deeply, making Cancer slow to trust and quick to retreat. When that trust is broken, their secrecy is a survival mechanism, a way to protect their tender hearts from being shattered again. Yet, behind this guardedness is an ocean of empathy and intuition, allowing them to sense the unspoken truths of others, often absorbing emotions that they do not reveal even to themselves. This makes Cancer both mystifying and magnetic, a paradox of openness and secrecy. The emotional truths Cancer holds can be overwhelming when finally revealed, raw, intense, and profound. It is a vulnerability that can inspire deep connection or cause others to recoil in confusion. Loving a Cancer means learning patience, understanding that their silence often speaks volumes, and that the most important truths are often conveyed through gestures, quiet support, and steadfast presence rather than spoken words. Their secret world is a sacred space, and those fortunate enough to enter it discover a loyalty and depth unmatched in the Zodiac. But it is a space fiercely protected, where even the light struggles to reach the darkest corners. 2. Pisces, masters at hiding their real feelings behind kindness, the enigmatic dreamers who cloak their deepest truths in gentle waves of compassion and mystery. Pisces lives in a world of endless emotions, where reality blurs with dreams and the lines between self and others often dissolve into a sea of empathy. Their secrets are as fluid and shifting as water itself, sometimes clear and visible, other times dark and impenetrable. To truly understand Pisces, one must dive beneath the surface, beyond their warm smiles and soft words, into the currents of their hidden soul. They are the ultimate emotional chameleons, adept at concealing their pain, fears, and doubts beneath Layers of kindness and selflessness. Pisces' greatest secret is their vulnerability. Vulnerability is so profound that revealing it risks shattering the delicate image they present to the world. This fear drives them to protect their inner selves with an almost spiritual devotion, crafting illusions of serenity while turmoil brews beneath. Their compassion is both a blessing and a shield. By focusing on healing and helping others, Pisces often neglect their own wounds. Hiding the scars behind acts of generosity, they absorb the pain of those around them, carrying burdens not their own in silent sacrifice. This makes their secrets not just personal, but collective hidden stories intertwined with the lives of everyone they touch. Pisces' imagination is a vast sanctuary where they retreat when reality becomes too harsh. Here, their secrets take shape as fantasies, hopes, and fears, blending truth with myth. They guard this inner realm fiercely, fearing judgment or misunderstanding. If anyone glimpses the depths of their emotional labyrinth, their intuition is almost supernatural, sensing unspoken truths and hidden motives. But paradoxically, they often withhold their own truths, unsure how or when to share their authentic selves. This duality makes Pisces elusive, a puzzle wrapped in tenderness and mystery. When Pisces finally does open up, their revelations can be overwhelming raw emotions. Confessions of fears, desires, and dreams that reveal a soul both fragile and infinite. But such moments are rare gifts, bestowed only on those they trust beyond doubt. They struggle with self-doubt and sometimes self-deception. Their secrets including moments of confusion about who they truly are. This internal conflict adds layers of complexity to their character, making their honesty a constant battle against the shadows they hide within. To love a Pisces is to accept the ebb and flow of their emotional tides, to embrace the beauty and chaos of their inner world without trying to fix or expose it prematurely. Their secrets are not barriers, but invitations to patience, understanding, and unconditional love. 1. Scorpio, the fortress of secrets. What they hide could change everything. Scorpio stands as the unyielding sentinel at the gates of the most hidden realm. Their aura is thick with mystery, a dark velvet curtain concealing a tumultuous storm beneath a storm of passions, fears, desires, and truths too powerful for most to face. To know a Scorpio's secrets is to hold a key to a labyrinth that few dare to enter, and even fewer survive unscathed. Unlike other signs who might flinch at vulnerability, Scorpio embraces their shadows, wearing them like armor. Their secrets are not mere whispers in the dark, but complex tapestries woven from betrayal, loss, revenge, and an unquenchable thirst for transformation. They understand the weight of silence and the power that comes from holding truths that could shatter lives. This sign's emotional intensity is legendary, and their hidden depths are like an abyss, bottomless and intimidating. Scorpio's secrets often revolve around their fears of betrayal and abandonment, driving them to guard their hearts with an almost obsessive vigilance. They give their trust sparingly, and when it is broken, their wrath is as fierce as their love is profound. Their secrets are a delicate dance of control and surrender. Scorpio controls what is revealed, crafting their narrative with precision, allowing glimpses that entice but never fully disclose. This mastery over their inner world makes them formidable, enigmatic, and often misunderstood. Beneath the stoic exterior lies a soul that yearns for profound connection but fears the vulnerability it demands. Their secrets include unspoken desires, hidden pains, and a relentless inner quest for truth that can both heal and destroy. They are the alchemists of emotion, transforming darkness into strength, pain into wisdom. Scorpio's capacity for secrecy extends beyond themselves to others, often uncovering the deepest secrets around them with an almost supernatural intuition. Yet, they share their own only with the rare few who prove themselves worthy, as sacred bonds sealed with loyalty and intensity. To confront a Scorpio's secrets is to confront the rawest, most primal parts of human nature. It is a journey through fire and ice, through betrayal and redemption. Their silence speaks volumes, their absence weighs heavily, and their presence commands respect. In the end, Scorpio's secrets are not prisons but keys to transformation, to rebirth, and to a love so fierce it can consume and elevate simultaneously. They embody the paradox of darkness and light, destruction and creation, death and renewal. Have you ever glimpsed the depths of a Scorpio's soul and felt both fear and fascination? Share your experience below, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Horoscope Reads for more revealing journeys through the Zodiac's mysteries. Stay tuned for our next video where we dive into another hidden truth behind the stars. Thank you for watching.